Today, our topic is library as a system. So, before discussing the library as a system, we need to know what is a system. A system may have many subcomponents which is called subsystems. They are obviously interrelated and they serve some purpose, and the purpose must be a common one. Therefore, any change in the function of any subcomponents may affect the whole system. Now, what are the topics that will be covered in this unit, library as a system? What is system? System components, type of systems, library system and its subsystems, library automation as a system, its components and interrelationships, library acquisition, its subsystem and its components, interactive process of system analysis and evaluation of system analysis. Now, there will be given some references and some exercises. As I have already discussed, system is a set of entities or elements which are integrated and bound by a functional relationship to serve a common purpose. Therefore, a change in the functioning of one entity affects the effectiveness of whole system. Now, what are the different components of a system? Input, the system, output and its environment. There may be many variables depending on which the system will function. If we consider the case of a library as a system, what we can consider as input? Input may be, suppose we are discussing about data entry or the cataloging module. Here, input are the data that we are entering into the library automation software system. Some of the library automation software systems may be Koha, NewGenLib, etc. Their input is the data that we give about or the bibliographical details which we enter in the software. Now, the system will process, and what will be the output of the data we are entering? It will show the end users the catalog or the bibliographic details of the books or journals or any other audio visual materials. Obviously, there must be some variables. The variables in this case may be different standards of cataloging. The next is types of systems. The types of system may vary. Here, Mardik and Ross in 1975 have identified different types of system. These are conceptual systems. Conceptual systems are basically concerned with theoretical structures, as in general theory of relativity, economic theory. That means any theory which is developed may based on a conceptual system. Next one is empirical system. These systems, in contrast to the conceptual system, are concrete operational systems made up of people, materials, machines and other such components. Next is natural system. An example of such a system is an ecosystem or the entire ecology of life. As the name suggests, natural system, that means it is never developed by human beings or machines. It's completely existing naturally. Next one is man-made system. Example of such a system is the manufacturing system of a company. That means which is made by man. The next system type may be social system. These social systems are made up of people and comprise interpersonal and intergroup relationships. Man-machine systems. These systems exist in business and industry when the man and machine are interdependent. Now, the next one is pure machine system. These systems are very rare, and pure machine system, from the name we can understand that here the machine functions everything. That means the system is totally automated. What is the example? Example could be a pure sufficient system like an electrical power generating system with self-repairing capabilities. Yes, the system can self-repair itself. The next one is open system. As the name suggests, the system freely interacts with the environment. The next type is closed system. This system does not interact with its environment. Now, what is the next category of system? Stationary systems. These are the systems whose properties and operations do not vary with time. An example of such a system would be a manufacturing unit producing the similar items. Non-stationary system. These systems vary with time. An example of this system is a research and development department or any other system that keeps evolving or changing with time. The next type of system is reactive system. These systems interact with their environment in order to improve their functioning and thus keep evolving. Non-adaptive system. These systems do not change with respect of the environmental factors. So, till now we have learned about different types of systems. Now, I am going to discuss about library system and its subsystems. And this system and subsystem is adapted from G. Kenya in 2009. Library may be divided into many subsystems: institutional, managerial, organizational, environmental, human behavioral, and operational. Institutional subsystems are business, explain the areas of activity. They have some vision like the purpose and or commitment with the educational institution. Mission represents what the organizations want to be, idealization of the future, and principles, convictions of support from the administrative actions. So these are the subparts of institutional subsystem. Now managerial subsystem. Managerial subsystems includes the results to be achieved, assist in the implementation, verification and evaluation of action, defines the products offered and administrative functions like planning, direction and control. Operational subsystem. This subsystem helps the administrator to define which activities are indispensable, their purposes and how they will be executed. Internal and external activities both. Organization subsystem involves the distribution of functions, organizational structure, authority level and people responsible for the functions. Human behavioral subsystem mobilize people and seeks adequacy of individual and collective behavior to the requirements of the activities like motivation, activation and integration of people. Now, environmental subsystem defines environmental actions composed of environmental policy, action plan, implementation, mediation and evaluation, critical analysis and continuous improvement. Library automation as a system, its components and interrelationships. The library automation system have many components like acquisition system, serial control system, circulation system, cataloging system, user services, reference services, including OPAC, information storage and retrieval, administration, planning, report generation. Now, these all subsystems are interdependent. They are interdependent with each other. If one unit is not performing properly, then the whole system will be affected. Now, this acquisition module or acquisition subsystem may again have different parts or different subsystems as same as acquisition module, serial control, circulation, cataloging. All such subsystems may again be divided into some subunits like library acquisition subsystem and its components. So whenever we are procuring something, we need to search. Somebody has given us requisition, then first thing we need to know whether that thing is already existing in the library or not. For that, what do we have to do? First, we have to search the thing in the library catalog, or then if it is not available in library catalog, then we need to search it with the order file, whether we have already placed the order for the books or the journals. It is maybe under process, that we need to check. If yes, then we can report, and if no, if we don't have that material, then we can proceed. The next one is we have to check budget, whether budget is available. If budget is available, then we can go for next process, or if it is budget is not available, then we can report to the authority. The next, if the budget is available, then what we can do? We can check, we can create order, and we can check the order when the item is we are receiving. Then if it is not correct according to order, then we can return the item. If the item is as per the order, then we can receive the item. Now, I have already discussed about the acquisition subsystem. Now I will discuss about cataloging subsystem. So cataloging subsystem consists of bibliographic record section. Detailed information about each item in the library's collection, including title, author, publication details, and subject headings, all are entered in this part. The module support various metadata standards like Mark 21, Unimark to maintain some uniformity. The another part of this module is copy cataloging. This module gives privilege to import bibliographic records from external sources such as library consortia or any other library databases that follows some standard data. Authority control. It includes features for managing authority records which help ensure consistent and standardized access points for names, subjects, and other controlled vocabularies. Authority control enhances search accuracy and enable users to find relevant materials more efficiently. Thus, authority control is very important part of cataloging subsystem, because we standardize the terms for subject, title, authors, so that a standard form is maintained. Circulation subsystem. Patrol management is a part of circulation subsystem. The module allows user to create and manage patron accounts, including capturing personal information, contact details, and membership data. It enables user to track browsing history or borrowing history, controls holds, and communicate with patrons regarding their account status. The next facility is check-in and check-out. User can use circulation module to check in returned items and check out materials to library patrons. The module records due dates, calculates fines for overdue items, and handles renewals and reservations. Next part is holds and request. The circulation module supports placing and managing has or recommendations on library items. Patron can request materials that are currently checked out and the system notifies them when the items become available. Now I am going to discuss about circulation subsystem. Fine management is part of this circulation subsystem. The system automatically calculates penalties or fine based on defined rules and generate reports for fine collection. Renewals. Patrons can request renewals of borrowed items through the circulation module. The system checks for any restrictions or conflicts and allows for easy extension of the borrowing period if applicable. So therefore, in this renewal, the module will always automatically verify whether the patron is allowed to get renewed the item or not. Next is self-checkout and self-service options. Through this, the library user can perform self-checkout or self-check-in for their library books or library materials. Next part of circulation subsystem is notification. Now there are many library automation software or system that can give automated notification for check-in, check-out of library materials and also for reminders for overdue items. Next is integration with other parts. With the cataloging and OPAC, the circulation subsystem can be integrated to ensure consistent and up-to-date information across the system. For example, while circulating one books to the user or while finding the OPAC, if one book is already issued to the user, the OPAC gets automatically updated, and suppose the book is withheld or weeded out, then it cannot be circulated to the patrons. The subsystems of a library. As I have already discussed, there are many subsystems of a library system: administrative and finance, acquisition, technical processing, circulation, reference, periodicals, and maintenance section. Now, what are the sub-themes of administration and finance? These may be records and file keeping, diary and dispatch, allocation and expenditure, stock registers, caretaking of library property. And acquisition module subsystems may be selection, ordering, receiving, supply, accessioning, processing and bills. Technical processing may be divided into classification, cataloging, card filing, shelving. Circulation may have subsystems like membership, work, issuing, charging, returning, discharging. Reference section may have components like collection, formation, answering queries. Periodical sections may have components like recording, receipts, display, preparation of current contents, volume for binding. Maintenance sections may have works like formalization of collections, shelving, reshelving, dusting and cleaning, mending, binding, weeding, and stock verification. Now, till now we have discussed about what is a system, its components, library as a system, and its different components. Next we will learn about interactive process of system analysis used in problem solving. In this case, what is the first stage? Some user analyst interface must be there to know what is the user need. Then the problem is defined. After considering the user need, the main problem is defined in the next stage. Then to solve the problem, many alternatives are developed. Next question is, alternatives are developed, but whether it is meeting the requirements or not. If not, then again we have to start from the beginning. And if yes, then we have to construct some models. And next we have to see whether this model for solution of that problem is cost effective or not. If it is economically justified, if the model is economically justified as well as it can solve the problem and it can serve the end user, then only the model can be recommended. So the next step is recommendation. Then, as according to recommendation, if it is accepted by the authority, competent authority, then only the module can be implemented. After implementation, not only implementation is the final stage, even after implementation, we need to know what is the problem, whether it is actually solving the problem for which it is implemented. For that, feedback, constant feedback and modification is also required. So I have discussed the steps of interactive process of system analysis used in problem solving. But I will now give an example in case of a library system. Suppose our user, as per national educational policy, is demanding about plagiarism detection software or similarity detection software. So what is the user interface? User is demanding a plagiarism detection software. So what is their problem? They want to get their projects checked through a plagiarism detection software. A library may have one existing alternative or it may not have any alternative. So if the library has not procured any alternative, then what they can give? They can provide some alternatives. For example, there are some plagiarism software. For example, I am saying option A, option B and option 3. So these are the alternatives. Now we have to ask whether these option A, option B, option 3 meet the requirements. We may give the access to the user as a trial version and then ask the users whether these alternatives meet their requirement or not. If yes, what can we do? We can select the most efficient one from the alternative options which solve the user's demand. Then in the next stage, we need to know whether the chosen product is at all cost effective, and if yes, then whether budget is available, and if budget is also available, it is cost effective and it is satisfying the user need, then only we can recommend that yes, library can procure this plagiarism detection software. And then only once it is accepted by the administrative authority or the competent authority, we can implement or purchase the plagiarism detection software. So this is an example of how a problem arises in a system and how with the considering the user need, we can solve the problem. And obviously once the plagiarism detection software is purchased, then we can take feedback after some time whether it is actually meeting their requirement or not, so that we can take necessary action in the future. So this is an example of problem. If arises problem in the system, how can we analyze it and we can solve the problem. The next is the steps in system analysis, problem solving approach. Now we have to understand the existing system. Familiarize with all components, operations, functions, decisions, and outputs. Evaluate current procedures like assess information needs, acquisition, storage and retrieval system, staff performance, equipment capability, and financial support. Then we have to do a job analysis. Comprehend the roles of individuals in the system. That means human resource management. Whether each and every staff is performing his or her best or not. If not, what are the alternatives? How they can perform best. Determine new system requirements. Then we need to assess the existing system to identify requirements for a new system. Plan and design alternative system. Enhance effectiveness by addressing identified shortcomings and aligning with system goals. So what is the main thing we are doing here? We are doing a SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis is analyzing strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats of a system. If these four things are analyzed, then the solution can be easily drawn. Now, I will discuss about evaluation in system analysis, assessing system performance. Evaluation in system analysis involves assessing the performance of the system, how the system is working. It requires a thorough understanding of all components, operations, functions, decisions, and output of the system. Inputs for library and information system such as information sources and outputs like bibliographical services and management reports are evaluated. So here we need to consider what we are providing as input and what we are getting as output, whether user need is being satisfied or not. The next step is the analyst compares current procedure against system objective, assesses information needs, acquisitions, storage and retrieval system, staff performance, equipment capability, and financial report. And then job analysis is conducted to understand individual role within the system, aiding the determining requirements for a new system and planning for increased effectiveness. Thus, evaluation of a system is always required. Why? For example, we are entering the data in cataloging module, and as we are entering the data, the user are getting access to the bibliographic data of the books or journals. So, if the data is less in quantity or not sufficient enough, or the data doesn't follow any standard, the output will also not be in a standard format. Therefore, the analyst must always analyze whether the input given are correct or in order, so the output received is also remain in order. So these are the references that a user can go through. There are many platforms where the related books and other documents are also available online. I have given here few exercises to perform, like MCQs, general theory of relativity. We already know it is a conceptual system because it is theory based, concept based. The next question is entire ecology of life is will be natural system. System which freely interacts with its environment is known as open system. Obviously, it is an open system because it can easily interact with the environment. Billing and ordering is a part of which system? Circulation, acquisition, we know it is a part of acquisition system because whenever we need to procure a book, we need to take its bill and place order. Then membership facility is a part of circulation system. Now what are the short question that we can discuss? What is a system? That we already know. System is System comprises of many subsystems which are interdependent, and if one of them is affected, the whole system will be affected. Name some subsystems of library automation system. That I have already discussed. What are the modules of a library automation system? Acquisition, data entry, cataloging, classification, serial management, administration module or report module. What is system analysis? System analysis means short analysis. That is, what is the problem, what is the strength, what is the weakness, what are the opportunities we are getting after implementing of a system, and what are the threats that we are currently facing. System analysis includes all such things. Another part is also whether system is demanding, system is fulfilling the user need or not. Why system evaluation is important? System evaluation is important because only through evaluation we will come to know about the system's effectiveness, whether the system will remain effective to fulfill the desires, fulfill the objectives. Therefore, in this unit, we came to know about what is a system, its components, what are the different types of system, how library can be defined as a system, library as a system and its different components, system analysis and evaluation of a system. Thank you.